Good morning, cadets. Today, let's take the introduction of the poet William Butler Yeats. Yeats was born in Sandymount, Ireland. He was a Protestant and member of Anglo-Irish community. He spent childhood days in County Sligo and studied poetry from an early age. When he became fascinated by Irish legends and occult. These topics feature in the first phase of his work, which lasted roughly until the turn of 20th century. His earliest volumes of verse was published in 1889 and its slow-paced and lyrical poems display depths to Edmund Spenser, P.B. Shelley, and the poets of pre-Lafayette Brotherhood. From 1900, his poetry became more physical and realistic. He largely renounced the transcendental beliefs of youth, though he remained preoccupied with physical and spiritual mask as well as with cyclical theories of life. In 1923, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. So, this is about the poet W.B. Yeats. So, yesterday we were talking about the poem. The poet dreams of escaping from the busy streets of London. He remembers a place in his spree as a perfect little island that fulfilled all his needs. The poet declares that he would rise and go to Innisfree, where he would build a small cabin of clay and wattles. These all things we have done yesterday. That is the first stanza of the poem. He says that he would have peace there. That is the ultimate goal of the poet is to be peaceful. He wants to escape the chaotic life of London. Now let us take up the second stanza. And
Ma'am, can I present my screen of PPT, ma'am, regarding this poem?
yes, just let me complete the stanzas. Two stanzas are there. Let me complete it. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. So everybody is in search of peace, calmness, tranquility. But peace comes slow. Peace comes from the vales of the morning to where the crickets sing. So, veil means the parda. The women, they hide their face with a cloth. That is a veil. So, the poet has given a beautiful imagination. The morning opens slowly as if a lady is unveiling. That means she is trying to show her face. That is how the poet has beautifully brought it out. And where the crickets sing. So, crickets are a type of insects. Their midnights all glimmer. So, in the midnight, the light is looking as if it is shining, and in the noon, it is purplish in color. In the evening, Innisfree is full of the bird, linnet's wings. So, whole day Innisfree looks different. That is the meaning of the poem. In the morning, the crickets are singing. In the midnight, it is all about shining. In the afternoon, the whole afternoon looks like it is purple in color. In the evening, it is all about linnet's wings. So the whole day has different kind of beauty in Innisfree. One cannot see the same scenery or pictures throughout the day. Why? He says that midnight there is a glimmer, in the morning there is cricket singing, purple glow in the afternoon, and in the evening it is about linnet's wings. So he longs to be in Innisfree because he wants to escape the busy life of London. Third stanza, I will rise and go now, for always night and day. I'll hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. So we were talking that sometimes we are physically present somewhere and actually mentally we are somewhere. So the poet has mentally reached Innisfree. So he says, I'll rise and go because the day and night I keep hearing the water lapping low sounds by the shore. When he is standing on the roadway or the pavement's grey, also deep in his heart, he wants to escape to Innisfree, where he can hear the low sounds by the shore. When he is standing in the city or in the roadway or on the pavement, he hears the sound within himself in the deep heart's core. So he loves to be in Innisfree, which is very peaceful and calm, and he wants to escape the place at any cost. That is what W.B. Yeats wants to say. So the place Innisfree is very attractive. The thing that the poet finds so attractive about the place is it promises peace, tranquility, and calmness. The basic thing, the promise of tranquility, calmness, and peace by Innisfree is appealing to our poet. So he wants to go there. The poet longs for the place because he wants contentment, relaxation from all these busy, hustle, bustle, modern life. He wants calmness, peace, relaxation, contentment from the busy life of London. The poet's slow and regular this conveys that he has a dreamy effect. There is also very good description of how beautiful Innisfree is. Whole day Innisfree looks different. In the morning, we can see crickets singing. In the midnight, it is shining. In the noon, it is all purplish in color. In the evening, it is linnet's wings. So there are different shades and colors of beauty in Innisfree. Life is entirely peaceful, tranquil, and full of contentment. So the poet feels that he's trapped in the city, which is full of noise, hustle bustle, and so he imagines the beauty of Innisfree so that he can get some peace of mind. So it is a very beautiful poet, a poem, and it celebrates the theme of escapism. Sometimes every person wants to go away from the busy and fixed schedule of life. That is why we have vacation, summer vacation, winter vacation, because the routine bores you and you want to come back refreshed, rejuvenated. So vacations are required. In the same way, the poet also wants to escape to a place called Innisfree, and he describes Innisfree as simple, a natural environment where he can live peacefully, and he does not want the company of anybody. He wants to enjoy it alone. Here is W.B. Yeats, the poet of the poem. William Butler Yeats was an English language Irish poet, dramatist, prose writer, and one of the foremost figures of 20th century English literature. A pillar of the Irish literary establishment, he helped to found the Abbey Theatre and in his later years served two terms as Senator of the Irish Free State. He was born on 13 June 1865 in Sandymount, Ireland. He passed away on 28th January 1939 in France. Let's revise or have a recap of what we learned in the summary of the poem. The poet starts the poem with the introduction of a place called Innisfree. It's a place where the poet has spent a lot of time when he was a child or a boy. He wants to go back because he's frustrated, sad in the hustle bustle of the city, and wants to find peace and natural beauty. And what he plans to do in Innisfree? He plans to build a simple and small hut or a cabin which will have 9 bean rows and a honeybee hive. So he wants to lead a very simple life in Innisfree. He will live alone in the home and he does not want the company of anybody. That is what is to be noted. He would like to be alone and will love the peace of nature. He wants to enjoy life in the lap of nature and looks forward to getting away from the fast life of city. So he's fed up, bored of the city life, which is very fast, monotonous, polluted. He does not want to live there. In the end, the poem reveals the fantasy image of his dream, which he depicts is life he wants to live. However, reality seems to be opposite of what he dreams. The poet wants to go to Innisfree, but for his bread and butter and all, he is living in London. He wants to live in the countryside or village to get away from the fast life and live a slow and peaceful life. In the poem, he talks about various things such as the hidden nooks and singing crickets. So he talks about various insects, birds. Now we have the meaning, the glossary. Wattles means the twisted sticks for making fences, walls. Glade means the open space. Linnet is a small brown gray bird with short beak. So throughout the poem, Yeats uses a variety of imaginative phrases to capture the essence of the poem. He brings the island to life. So you will get a feeling that you have visited Innisfree. His beautiful description. So you get that feeling that you are in Innisfree. And he refers to different birds and insects there. He comments on the cricket singing and refers to the bird linnet's wings. This gives you that you are on the island as if and reminds of what a peaceful and natural surrounding can be. We can understand what is a natural surrounding and how peace is important in life. The line and live alone in the be loud glade correctly captures the point that Yeats is trying to make his life very peaceful on the island. He wants to stay alone. He wants to be isolated, live isolated, and he wants to enjoy solitude. Yeats also describes how light changes on the island throughout the day. If you are on the island, throughout the day you can enjoy the natural surroundings because noon is purple and the light in the entire lake is different. In the midnight, it becomes shining. In the morning times, there is full of cricket singing. So each part of the day is beautiful and different. And he manages to capture the sounds of the island also. He tells, though he is standing in London, he can know or feel the water lapping.
Coming comes dropping slow, droppings from the wheels of the morning to where the cricket sings. The poet is telling ma'am he can have peace there in the Innisfree, and the peace comes from the dropping from the wheels of the morning to
Yeah,
where
what
the
is the
cricket sings.
difference of the whales?
Ma'am means that morning that droplets will come, ma'am.
So it is like a slow process. A lady will
Yes,
not unveil her face so fast. It will be a very slow process. In the same way, the sun will rise and the morning will, it will become morning very beautifully. It will come out, not suddenly.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
There midnights all a glimmer, and a noon a purple glow, and evenings full of linnets' wings. The poet is saying that midnights are very bright and noon is a purple glow,
Purple
and
color,
evening.
everybody knows what is purple color. You're all good in art. So
Yes,
definitely,
ma'am.
yeah. So you know
Yes,
what is a,
ma'am. Brinjal color.
yeah, very good. Chalo, Bharat, continue.
And evenings full of linnets' wings. The poet is trying to tell that in the evenings all the birds are flying in the sky.
Yeah, linnets are flying in the sky. So only wings of the linnets are visible.
I will rise and go now for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. I will rise and go now. He's telling that I will go now for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. He's saying that the water sound is hearing for him, ma'am.
He is able to hear,
While I
though he
stand,
is in London, but he is able to hear the
hear
lapping of water
sounds
in,
of shore.
yeah,
Shore.
yeah. Where is he? He is
While
on the roadway or pavement of London, but deep in his heart's core, he can feel the sound of the water lapping in his free. So let us once again take up the poem. The first stanza. Yeah. I will rise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. So the first stanza, we come to know that our poet is now wanting to escape to a peaceful place. He does not enjoy the routine of the city of London. He wants to go to an island called Innisfree, and he has already made some plans to build a small cabin of clay and wattles, to plant 9 bean rows, and there will be a beehive also. Above all this, in the first stanza, we come to know he does not want a single person to accompany him. He wants to stay alone. Second stanza, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings, there midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and the evenings full of linnets' wings. The second stanza, it is all about the beauty of Innisfree. Not a single part of the day is same. The morning is different, afternoon is different, midnight you find something different, evenings are different. So Innisfree is a very beautiful place. The day starts with crickets singing. By afternoon, everything becomes purple in color. The noon is a purple color. Evenings, you find linnets, or the bird linnets, and its wings only. And in the midnight, once again, it becomes so bright and shiny. So, life in Innisfree is different, and the natural beauty is so much that each part of the day is different. Third stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. Though the poet is physically present in London, he is mentally in Innisfree. He is standing on the roadway or pavement of London. But he says that in the deep core of my heart, I can feel that the water is lapping with low sounds in Innisfree. So it is time for him to rise and go to Innisfree. He is desperate to join Innisfree and enjoy a complete, calm, peaceful, and life of contentment in Innisfree. That is what the poet is talking about in the last stanza.